When it comes to social media, content is everything. A little real talk here. Crappy content just won't cut it. Gone are the days where you can slap any old thing up on a social media wall and see instant results. Instead, your content today is competing with millions, if not billions, of other pieces of content. And if it's not content that stands out, you and your brand will be lost in the shuffle. And that's where I come along, my friend. I am going to teach you exactly what makes great content. In this episode, I am sharing 5 things you must try to supercharge your social media content. Episode 168 starts right now. Hey there, welcome to the Lora Shipman Show. We hang out here weekly to talk about things like social media, entrepreneurship, marketing, tools, strategies, tips, and it all starts right now. Hey there, before we get started with this show, I just want to share my passion with you. I love teaching people just like you how to master social media for business, breaking it down into easy to consume and easy to execute steps so that you can see immediate results. So whether you want to start a social media consultancy or grow your brand's presence on social media, I can help. I can help you get started and master all the things that you need to know. So I want you to go over to my website. It is filled with resources, tools, tips, and courses. Visit lorashipman.com. That's LORA shipman.com to get all the goods. Now you ready for the show? I know I am. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm so excited you are here with me. As you know, I am on a mission right now to help as many people as I possibly can level up their content. And today we're going to try 5 things, or I'm going to tell you about 5 things that you need to try with your social media content. So my goal with this episode is to move away from that advice you always hear. And you know what I'm talking about. It's the one that says niche down, know your avatar, really know who your audience is. And instead, my goal is to get more into the meat of what content is and the content that actually performs for accounts. Now, I manage a lot of different social media accounts for a lot of different industries, and I've learned a thing or two about which content tends to perform better than others. But before we even dive into that juicy meat of social media content, we need to have a little bit of a frank talk about the role or the part that social media plays in your business. You know, social media is just one part of your overall marketing plan. It is not the marketing plan or your entire marketing plan. So I'm going to take you through a little visualization thing here. And close your eyes if you can. If you're driving, don't do it. I don't recommend that. Okay. What I want you to do is when I think of an overall marketing plan, I think of a huge wagon wheel. Now picture that big wagon wheel in your head. And in the center of that wagon wheel there's usually a really big disc, right? That kind of holds the wheel together. And it's got all of these spokes just coming out from the center of the wheel, of the wagon wheel. Well, that's how I think about your brand, your business, and marketing. Your brand is in the center of that wagon wheel with a ton of spokes coming out. And hopefully what you're doing is you're using more than one spoke to drive your marketing effort. If you have spokes that aren't balanced, your wheel's not going to move so quickly or efficiently, is it? In fact, you might even get a little bit of a flat tire and not move anywhere. So do yourself and your business a favor. Evenly distribute your marketing efforts and advertising efforts through multiple areas, and it can look something like this. You can have social media as one of those spokes. Another couple you might want to think about are email marketing, networking, blogging, podcasting, local publications, direct mail pieces, speaking engagements, sponsorships, trade shows, webinars. You get the idea. There are a ton of spokes that you can add to your marketing wheel, and each one of those spokes supports the other. So for example, let's say you were at a virtual networking event and you could direct people that you meet through this event to your social media channels. Or let's say you are invited on a podcast or to be a part of a webinar. You could also send these attendees or the listeners to the podcast links to your social media channels and invite them to download your latest lead magnet, which, by the way, gets them on your email list, allowing you to market to them further through email marketing techniques. When you start to look at how you can market your business, you begin to create something that looks more like a web of marketing, where no one thing acts as a silver bullet, but instead it turns out to be many things working in concert together to create a top hit. So while social media cannot be the silver bullet for your business, it can be a huge part of it. And I think it's one of the best ways to get the most exposure possible, but I don't think it can be the only way. Don't get me wrong, you can have some huge wins when you use social media correctly. It can help you do all the things you need it to do, like build, know, like, and trust. And those are pretty much the 3 factors you need to grow your business in order to gain new customers and clients. So yeah, don't get me wrong, it can do a lot, but it doesn't have to be the only way, nor should it be the only way. But when you are using social media, you have to use it the right way. And today I'm going to give you those 5 things that you need to try to supercharge your content so that you do get the exposure that you want and need, and that whatever you're doing on social media actually supports what's going on those spokes of the wheel. All right. Are you ready to dive in? Here are my top 5. The first one is, and it seems pretty simple, but I think a lot of people avoid it, is being the face of your business. Or if it's not you who's going to be the face of your business, maybe select someone on your team who will be, who is great at getting in front of the camera, who loves to talk in front of people. The reason why I say to do this is because people tend to connect better with another human than they do an actual logo. So select someone to be that face and that voice of your business that your target market can actually relate to. And oh, by the way, this doesn't really need to be a human either. It could be a mascot or even a dog, or a pet, or something that's fun that people can connect with. Another way to build human interaction with your brand is to actually look at your team for a minute. How cool would it be to have your team members share their input or share why they love working for the company or what it is about the product or service you provide that gives them passion? Let your audience get to know who your team and what their personality is. And a side benefit of this is when you have other people jumping in and your audience gets to know them, it begins to build company culture, which is really kind of cool. And your audience, if they really resonate with who your team member is or who you are, and they see that culture and they get that feel, that vibe that's coming from your business, that is a major win. Because that builds the trust and the know, like, and trust that people really crave when they're doing business with other people. So really think about who that face of your business is going to be. Okay, number 2 is video. And it's funny because when I started teaching social media, I don't know, maybe 5-7 years ago, we were talking about video and it wasn't as popular, but we kept saying, oh, video is getting more and more important. And it has over time. I mean, if you think about it, it started out like YouTube, but then you did pre-recorded and live videos on Facebook and Instagram. Now you've got the stories, and now you've got TikTok making it out on the scene. People love video. They love consuming it. It's one of the easiest things to consume. It can be consumed passively, or people can be totally engaged in watching every little minute of film that goes by. So think about how you're using video in your business right now and understand that for most people consuming, it's easier to learn through a video. Plus, there is that little bit of an entertainment factor that's thrown in there when people are watching video. You may not feel like an entertainer, and you shouldn't force it. You should just be natural. And that tends to be really entertaining for people because they get to see how somebody else thinks and what their mannerisms are. It's really a great way to connect with people. And now more than ever, people crave that connection, right? When we're closer to home, like we have been for the last several months at the time of this recording, when we are able to see another person who is outside of our immediate family, it's exciting, right? People get excited. That's what's going to happen with your business and your brand. People are going to get excited every time you show up for them because they're going to feel like a part of your world. So if you're not making video a top priority in your business, it's time to rearrange your schedule a little bit and put video content creation on your calendar. So if it's every Wednesday and you do it for just an hour, that's great. Just make the time for it and start off slow. You don't have to have this huge video component to your business, but you do have to have it there. And then just over time, gradually grow until it's a bigger part of your business. And here's some things that you'll benefit from once you do make that leap into video is your audience is going to get to really know you. They're going to know the culture of your business. And when they can understand that culture and feel it, you're building a relationship with them. So it's really important. I think I've said this before, but video is a great way to build trust. And your audience needs to see your brand in action, especially if they can't see you in person. They need to see you behind the scenes or on the scene of tutorials, unboxings, how-tos, like the best way to use your product or service, maybe even customer reaction. Actually, user-generated content is a lot of fun, and you can make a contest out of it by inviting people who've already purchased your product or service to make a quick little video that you can put up on your social media accounts. And when you see user-generated content, I'm getting excited about it, that builds more trust because people see other people using your products and services and they're having a really great reaction with it. It builds that trust and that excitement around your product or service. Okay, tip number 3 is social media is more about networking than selling. And I want you to stick with me here for a second. If you approach social media from a networking perspective, you're going to go much farther. Now, one of the things I want you to understand is social media, like I've said in the beginning, is not a silver bullet. So I want you to think of social media as more of a marathon than a sprint. So now let's think about how you would behave in a networking situation. So would you go to a networking meeting and walk up to someone and shake their hand, if we could shake their hand, and say, buy my and insert whatever, buy my product or buy my service? No, of course not. If you did that, people would get turned off instantly. So think about social media as a big networking event. Actually, it's a global networking event, and that should get you really excited because you can introduce yourself, your brand, your product, and your service to people across the globe and nurture them and build relationships. And those relationships tend to last longer than any others. And this is another great way for people to understand the vibe and the culture of your business. So do that instead of trying to sell right from the get-go. So here's how to do it. Just go to where your target audience hangs out. If it's on Instagram, great. Go find the hashtag hub that those people are hanging out in. If it's on Facebook, join some of the groups that your avatar is hanging out in and just sprinkle a little bit of yourself all over those places. And what I mean by that is connect with your audience through liking their content, going ahead and commenting on their content. And if it's really good content, go ahead and share it out to people you know. This is going to help you show up on their radar screen. And before you know it, you will have this huge following of raving fans because they already like you because you already liked their stuff. So always think in terms of giving first, right? Have you ever heard the phrase givers gain? Meaning that people who give tend to gain, right? So go ahead and take that approach with your social media and with the content that you're putting out in the social media universe. That is going to change everything for you. So instead of trying to sell and push your stuff on people, think about how you can build a relationship with people and how they can benefit from you. What can you give them that's going to better their life? Okay, the next thing that you need to try when you're on social media is letting people get to know you. Don't be shy about injecting some personal fun into your account. And there's some really easy places to start. The first one is pets and kids. I mean, that wins like every single time. Consider having a pet contest on your page or even a cute baby contest. The point is, get creative here and inject your personality. People want to know more about you. Other things you can do is take your audience on weekend adventures with you. What do you do during the weekend? Even if it seems mundane to you, it's not to your audience. I guarantee it. Other things that work really well are lifestyle tips and insights. Go ahead and share a favorite recipe, a cleaning tip, a time management strategy that you use, or an organizational hack. You will be amazed at how people respond. I have to tell you, the top 2 performing videos that I've ever put out, actually they were stories, were how to cut an avocado, because I cut mine differently, and how to cut a lime, because also I cut my limes differently. So you'll have to stay tuned to my stories, because I'm going to go ahead and throw those out there again, because they did perform really well and people were amazed at how I did that. So pay attention to my stories, because you never know what kind of little hack I'm going to come up and share with you. And then just sharing behind the scenes just goes a long way with your audience. And it's a great way to build trust with your audience, because if they can see you being human and maybe making mistakes or stumbling over your words, or maybe you've got your hair up in a messy bun that day, they can relate to you. So don't be afraid to do that. And then number 5, and if you guys have been around here for any length of time, you know that the V word was going to fly at some point during this podcast, and that is lead with value. I am so passionate about value that I honestly just can't help myself. And it's actually how I've built my business. To be perfectly honest, I've never done paid ads on social media or paid ads anywhere. I've always led with value, and it really has built trust with my audience and trust with my customers. They love it. And so for me, what does value mean? Because sometimes I think we throw words around and it just becomes white noise and we forget what the meaning of the word is. For me, value is defined as a piece of content that is free with no strings attached, which is something that can be used immediately and delivers quick wins or results. So think about what that might look like for you. If you've got a physical product, it may look like a coupon code or a dollar amount off, or maybe some sort of a bundle or a bonus that they purchase. But if it's someone, like if you're an information product like me, give away free tips. I mean, we say this all the time. It's nothing new, but I don't think a lot of people take advantage of it because they think they're afraid they're going to give away all of their secrets and they're not going to be needed. Don't ever think like that. The more you give away, remember, givers gain. The more you gain, the more trust you gain from your audience. And they're going to need you. Yeah, you might be giving them some secrets, but they need your help in implementing them and following up on them and the accountability of them. So don't be afraid to give stuff away. I'm telling you, like I said, I've built my business on value, and I pride myself in that. I really, really do. Okay, so those are my top 5 ways to supercharge your social media. And as a quick recap, here they are. Number 1 is select someone to be the face of your brand that your audience can relate to. And remember, that can be a mascot or a pet. Number 2 is video. We got to use it. And I forgot to say this earlier about video. If you feel shy about using video, I always say that stories are a great way to start, because it's 10, 15 seconds of video. Anybody can do anything for 10 seconds, right? So try there first, and then you can always delete it and restart it if it didn't turn out good the first time. And the more that you practice, the better you will become. Okay, number 1, select someone to be the face of your business. Number 2, video. Number 3, networking instead of selling. Build your network. Number 4, let people get to know you. Show them who the real you is so they can connect with you. And number 5, my favorite, is lead with value. So go ahead in the comment section, tell me which one you're going to use first. Okay, my friends, well, that does it for this episode. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, stay social. Hey there, I just want to say thank you for spending time with me here today. I know your time is super valuable, which is why I am dedicated to providing lots of usable, actionable information in the shortest amount of time possible. Before you go, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. And if you have ideas or topics you would like me to cover in an upcoming show, let me know about it in the comment section provided.